Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Daily Crypto News. It's February 14th, a Wednesday, 2024. It is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to y'all. I guess that sounds kind of weird, but if you are a person that celebrates Valentine's Day and does the thing, well, I hope you do the thing with somebody that you love. For me, it's my mother. Wait, that sounds weird. My mom's birthday is Valentine's Day. So happy birthday to mom. I will be seeing my mom / my Valentine later today. Let's get into today's news because this is actually one of the most news-heavy days I've seen in a long time. So let's get into it. So if you remember the show yesterday, Bitcoin dropped in price and we were like, oh no, what happened? Well, everybody's saying it was because the inflation report came in. It came in at 3.1% instead of the expected 2.9%, and the core CPI was up to 3.9% instead of the expected 3.7%. And to be perfectly honest with you, I scoffed at that reasoning. I knew it was going to be a flash in the pan. And who the hell expected, though, that Bitcoin was going to take off like it did this morning? Well, we are at $1 trillion market cap. And a lot of that has to do with the Bitcoin ETF, another massive day yesterday. The largest net inflow to date, 12,806 Bitcoin inflows, pushing BlackRock's Bitcoin exposure up to 100,000 Bitcoin. What is that in dollar signs of net inflows? Well, it's $631 million of net inflows into the spot Bitcoin ETF. That's 14 times more than demand that the network can produce every day. Anthony Pompliano says, I don't think people understand the magnitude of what's happening right now. Bitcoin's futures open interest tops $21 billion. That's the highest it's been since November of 2021. The notional open interest, or a dollar value locked in the number of open active contracts, is at a 26-month high. The all-time high was, of course, November of 2021, where it was around $24 billion. And that's when Bitcoin traded at $65,000. So technically there's more interest because the price is lower. Isn't that how it works? And do you think we're going to see all-time highs? Well, I think we will. The thing is with this is FOMO is starting to kick in. And while we had FOMO in Bitcoin in the crypto markets, it was just people who understood how to sign up to Coinbase or trade on Binance or KuCoin or wherever, right? That's where your FOMO came in. Now we have institutional FOMO. Do we have the mom and the pop and the people with trust funds and whatever calling their bankers going, hey, don't you see Bitcoin is up X amount over the past couple days? Do I have exposure to Bitcoin? And they're probably like, well, you're low risk or medium risk. That's more of a high risk. Well, why don't you just allocate 1 or 2% to it? See what happens. Are banks and brokers having those kind of FOMO talks right now? We will absolutely see how that plays out. Now, moving off Bitcoin news, we just can't talk about Bitcoin every day, all day. There is a lot of other things that are happening in the markets. For example, the International Market and Civil Liberties Committee, they voted 71-8 with 7 abstentions to approve the result of negotiations with member states of the EU on the Artificial Intelligence Act. Yes, the AI Act clears its first vote in the EU. The regulation aims to protect fundamental rights, democracy, the rule of law, and environmental sustainability from high-risk AI, while boosting innovation in Europe's position as an AI pioneer. The act would seek to impose safeguards such as copyright protections from authors, artists, and other creators in the face of generative AI models, along with bans on AI applications that threaten citizens' rights, such as biometric categorization and social scoring. The legislation will also require deepfake images, audio, and video to be clearly labeled. From an American perspective, I always look at the EU and go, you know what, they passed some things that seem to be a little bit onerous on companies and also help consumers at the same time. For example, forcing iPhone to switch to USB-C. Thank you. That should have happened a long time ago. Little personal story, I went out to buy the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I did. I took it home and I returned it. Why? Because once I got home and found out that the phone, this $1,500 phone, by the way, was pretty much the same thing as my 10 Max that I still use, that is 6 years old, I couldn't find the justification of the $1,500. That's number one. And number two is I realized I had to change all of my cords. I have cords all around my house to plug my phone in. I have one by the door, I have one by the TV, I have one in my bed, I have one in my office, and now I have to change everything to a USB-C? Come on. Oh, by the way, I also live with somebody, yeah? Also has an iPhone with a lightning cable. Have to change all of those cables too. The ones in my car. Oh yeah, I have that too. I have a charging block that has lightning cable. I have adapters for microphones and other kind of equipment that I use because I use my phone on the go with lightning cable adapters. So That was a little rant that you didn't need to know. However, these kind of changes help consumers and hurt consumers at the same time. It also are kind of a little onerous on the industry. I really want to understand what a lot of these regulations mean when it comes to AI, knowing that they need to figure out something about AI, but I don't know if they actually know what it is yet. And this sounds like, hey, we're throwing something out there because people know that AI is a risk, but we really don't know what it is yet, besides deepfakes, political ads, and those kind of things. How do you ban that? Not too sure. Does it have a label? Not too sure. And if it doesn't have a label, it just tricks people. So what do you do? Ban AI? I think this is actually more of a slippery slope than anything. What do you think? Matt at dailycryptonews.net. We have a lot of airdrop news. This is, we'll call this airdrop season. First, the StarkNet Foundation announced Wednesday morning that starting on February 20, nearly 1.3 million wallets will be eligible to claim their share of the distribution of STRK, the native token for the Ethereum Layer 2 network based on zero-knowledge technology. Those wallets will have until June 20th to claim their tokens. A range of people will be eligible for these initial StarkNet token distributions, not only just StarkNet users, but also contributors, developers, and also Ethereum EIP authors and solo home stakers. But even though that category is really broad for getting your Stark tokens, there are a hell of a lot of gaming projects set to unlock their tokens. For example, the Sandbox. According to estimates from Crypto Dashboard, there are 205.59 million SAND tokens expected to be unlocked today, which is $99.2 million worth of SAND tokens at current prices, or about 9.2% of current circulating supply. On February 16th, around $15.6 million ape tokens, ApeCoin, Bored Ape Yacht Club, and so on and so forth, they're going to be unlocked, which is around $23.1 million, or around 2.6% of their circulating supply. On February 22nd, Immutable is set to begin a 28-day linear unlock of around $1.22 million IMX tokens per day, or $3.6 million worth, and that's going to be around $29.3 million before the end of February. Yikes. On February 28th, the Prime token, which is tied to collectible card game Parallel, will see a 1.66 million token unlock, or around $60.1 million worth of tokens at today's prices, or about 5% of the circulating supply. And the Move to Earn game, STEPN, we haven't heard about STEPN for a long time. However, they're going to have a 31-day linear unlock. They're going to unlock around 3.22 million GMT tokens every day, worth around $833,000 per day. And by March, around $25 million worth of tokens will be unlocked at today's prices. That is not all. If it's not gaming tokens, you're going to see tokens like Avalanche, Aptos, and Optimism also have significant unlocks by the end of February. Now, why is this important? Because if you are hodlers of these tokens, price needs to go up to create parity within that price, meaning that if you have a $1 worth of tokens right now and 5% of supply goes into it, you now have lost money unless number go up. Everybody should have been paying attention to this. When you look at CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, you will see that there's a total supply and a circulating supply, meaning that discrepancy can be unlocked, be sent out, be thrown into the market, diluting basically the amount your token is going to be worth. It's called inflation, but for tokens. If you're recipients of some of these unlocks, good for you. Congratulations. I hope you take all of those tokens straight to the bank and buy yourself something nice. And if you are a hodler, that's somebody that believes in the projects, I hope that you have already accounted for this and that number goes up for you. Moving into some politics, my favorite topic, there's a super PAC funded by some crypto's most powerful companies and has amassed around $85 million war chest. And now that organization, that super PAC, is going to deploy these funds against political candidates across the country. Who is this Political Action Committee? Well, it's called Fairshake, and it's funded principally by crypto giants like Coinbase, Andreessen Horowitz, and Ripple Labs. But there are other people involved. For example, ARK, Solana, Bitwise, Jump Crypto, Multi-Coin Capital, Paradigm, the Winklevi, and I think Ryan Selkis and his Masari is also involved. So Fairshake, they have their targets set on Katie Porter, who is a congresswoman from Orange County in California. She is also in a 4-way primary for the United States Senate seat over there. So what does the crypto space have against Porter? Really kind of nothing, according to this article. She hasn't been very vocal about crypto. I don't think she's ever spoken about crypto. However, she has allied herself with Elizabeth Warren, who taught her at Harvard Law School and endorsed her run for Senate over a year ago. So what does that mean? Porter, student of Warren at Harvard. Warren helps her get into Congress, endorsed her for Senate, blah, 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 blah. You see where this is going. Elizabeth Warren, not a fan of crypto and not a friend to the industry. So they're running attack ads on her. Around $2.5 million of ads have already been pumped into this race. Who are the other candidates that are running in this race? Well, Adam Schiff, as Trump would call Shifty Schiff. He currently leads the pack of California Senate candidates at 25%. Porter is tied with Dodgers first baseman Steve Garvey, a Republican, and it looks like they're pulling in around 15% each. California has an open primary, which I kind of like. I personally like ranked choice voting better, but their March 5th primary is an open primary, meaning that the top two getters will move on to the general election, and they could be two Republicans, two Democrats, a Republican and a Democrat. It doesn't really matter, just who gets the most votes. And so we'll see if fair shakes money does what it's meant to do. P.S. I just have to say my position on this. Like, even though Elizabeth Warren and her stance on crypto is horrible, and if Katie Porter aligns herself with Warren, then she got to go too. This is my opinion. Why? Because, well, you're listening to my daily crypto news show. You know where I stand. However, can we just all agree that a super PAC is absolutely insane? That some of the biggest, richest companies and richest people in the world can just throw their money into a pool and just start targeting individual candidates? I mean, like or dislike Katie Porter. Imagine being at the end of a PAC with $85 million and you're trying to run for Senate. I mean, we can all admit that this should not be legal, right? Even though if you like what they're doing, it still shouldn't be legal. Can we agree on that? Or no? Let me know. Matt@dailycryptonews.net. By the way, I told you this is going to be a big news day. We still have more. The Glenlivet, yes, that famous whiskey, has now launched a 50-year-old whiskey collection to commemorate its 200th anniversary. And to do so, you guessed it, they're going to be using the blockchain, Ethereum, NFTs, and generative AI for its label design. This collection is going to be called The 12 Elements, and it pays homage to the 12 essential components that shape Glenlivet's renowned single malt whiskey. And if you want to pick up one of these 12 element collections paired with this unique NFT on the Ethereum blockchain made with AI, it's going to set you back around 40,000 euro or 16.284 Ethereum. Yikes. And finally, NVIDIA, the chip manufacturer, is now the fourth largest tech company by market cap, flipping Amazon. Wait, I just want to say that again. NVIDIA flips Amazon to be the fourth largest tech company by market cap. Wow. Now, I know you're probably wondering, what are the biggest companies then? Well, Microsoft is number one. I don't know what Microsoft does, but apparently they do more than Apple, because Apple is number two. By the way, Microsoft is around $3.1 trillion. Apple's around $2.8 trillion. Alphabet Google is about $1.8 trillion. And then you have NVIDIA, Amazon, Facebook, TSMC, and there we're going to stop. But that is absolutely impressive. And why am I mentioning this? Not only because NVIDIA just went up only, but so did Nancy Pelosi's portfolio. Nancy Pelosi, and this is only reported since February 12th, by the way, so 2 days ago, and NVIDIA has went up since then. Her NVIDIA call around 80 days ago, she made a big call in NVIDIA. Her calls are up, yes, 87%. 87%, making $1.4 million in around 80 days. Nothing to see here, folks. But we have our own portfolios to worry about. Let's get into those crypto prices.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
And the time is 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at that. It's a little earlier than most days. Why? I found the secret of waking up early, getting to bed early. Fear Greed is at 71 greedy. Bitcoin sitting at $51,774, up 5.7% in 24 hours. Ethereum is number 2 at $2,762, up up 4.6%. Tether's number 3. Solana is at 118, up 7%. Yikes. I hope you guys bought. If you bought Solana, send me an email, matt@dailycryptonews.net. Tell me you took my advice. even though it's not financial advice. And BNB is number 5 at 332, up 3.3%. Running off the top 10, we have XRP, USDC, Cardano, Avalanche, and Doge. Oh, look at that. Doge is coming back and taking out Chainlink. By the way, everything is up. Everything. The total market cap is up 5.1% at 1.93 trillion. We have a Bitcoin dominance of 52.7 and an ETH dominance of 17.2. That was our show today. And just really quick, like I said, Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.016 trillion. Ethereum is at number 2 with 331 billion. That was our show today. Again, we are looking for Spanish speakers, and we want you to make Daily Crypto News in Spanish. So please do me a favor, reach out at matt@dailycryptonews.net or sarah@dailycryptonews.net. And I want to end the day with some Little Bubble. Here is Little Bubbles. Bitcoin's back. And until tomorrow, happy hodling, everyone.
Everybody, long the Ponzi, everybody, long the Ponzi ride. Yo, Bitcoin's